Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the kitchen. Welcome back to Milkweed Farms. Hey, I want to do a little impromptu video here on pickling eggs, and I'm particularly going to use quail eggs for this recipe. I don't know if you've seen a quail egg, but they are tiny. Aren't they cute? I have 120 of these. They were gifted to one of my sons, and he asked me to pickle these, so I'm going to do that. Now I'm going to make them spicy. The thing about pickling eggs is you can make them dilly, garlicky, whatever you want. I'm going to make mine garlic and hot and spicy, so that's what my family likes. So we're going to get these little quail eggs ready to pickle. The first thing we're going to do is, well, we're going to have to steam these. And I'm going to get that prepared so we can steam these in a steam basket. It's actually not going to be a steam basket. It's going to be a colander that I have, a stainless steel colander. I'm going to put them in and then put the water below it because I don't have a steam basket. So we're going to improvise. I don't like a lot of extra gadgets around my kitchen. I got enough stuff the way it is. So I'm going to use what I have and we're going to get these steaming. So let's start with that. Okay, so you're going to need a pot to steam in that you have a lid for. My lid doesn't exactly fit. Once again, I'm making do. And then this is my colander, which is pretty small, so I probably am going to have to do my eggs in 2 batches, but that's fine. It gives me time to get some of my other prep done. So I'm going to put enough water in the bottom of this to steam these, but I don't want it to come up into the bottom of this because we don't want it to come up onto the eggs. So we're going to do that and get that ready, and I'm going to fill my little basket with eggs. So, are you excited about pickling eggs? These eggs we're going to put directly into the refrigerator. You don't have to go ahead and can them, which is not FDA approved, but I've done it before with eggs and it works out great. But the putting them into the refrigerator part is pretty easy because my family will eat these before the time is up, and there's salt, there's vinegar, and there's sugar, all of which are preservatives, not to mention the spices that we're going to put in. So anyway, we're going to add these little cute eggs to this. I don't want to turn this on until my eggs are all in here because I want them to all steam at the same rate. And it's only going to take 10 minutes once it comes to a full boiling boil to steam these. So if you don't, have a lot of room for water in the bottom, that's fine. Oh my gosh, these are so tiny and so cute. They're adorable, but we're going to fill this pan with eggs. I'll give you a closer upper look. Okay, now you can see better. These little things are hard to grab and they're so delicate, but you can fit. I'm going to put mine in quart jars. I use using wide mouth quart jars. So I have 4 jars prepared. I don't know, I may need more, but I think that's what I'm going to go with, and I'm going to double my brine recipe, and hopefully that'll be enough. I'm winging this because I'm going to add jalapenos and onions to it. So because my family likes the jalapenos and onions to take out and use on tacos because it's sweet, salty, has a really good flavor. So, okay, here's 24 eggs in here, so we can fit some more. We're going to fit another carton in. Okay, half of my quail eggs are in there. I'm going to turn on the burner underneath, and I'm going to put a lid on. And I'm going to wait for this to come to a rolling boil, and once it comes to a rolling boil, then I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes. Alright, so my second batch of eggs has gone in. I let those boil for, the water under them boil for 10 minutes, and then I let them sit there for just a little bit and kind of rest. But then I plunge them into ice water. Let me show you. My ice cubes have about melted, but yeah, these little bird eggs are in ice water. Whoops, there, you can see now. And we're going to let those sit there and cool down before we try to peel them. And then my second batch is going. But while that's going, we need to get our brine going. And so our brine is really simple because the seasonings we're going to put into each jar, and some people don't, but the reason that I do that is because I don't want like to get a whole bunch of peppercorns and mustard seed in one jar and then you know, hardly any in another jar. I like it to be flavored all the way through pretty evenly. So, and I'm doing 120 quail eggs. You can gauge this to whatever you think, but I'm going to use 2 cups of apple cider vinegar. And I'm using with the mother, but then we're going to heat it, so it would kill it anyway. So you use whatever kind of vinegar you want. You can use white vinegar. Let me grab some water here. I'm getting 2 cups of water. Okay, I grabbed my 2 cups of water. We're going to add that too. And these are going to be sweet, but not very sweet. Just a little bit sweet. So I'm going to put the 2 cups of each. I'm going to use a half a cup of sugar. My family isn't into overly sweet things, and I think that'll be plenty of sugar. Some recipes call for more, and that's fine if you want it like that. I don't. And then I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of salt. And I always, if you guys have never checked into Redmond salt, check into it. It's amazing. So I'm going to put my 2 tablespoons of salt in here. And we're going to heat that up and stir it and let that dissolve. And while that's going, I'm actually dicing up jalapenos and onions. Now, you don't have to do the jalapenos and onions. You can do whatever you like. I like jalapenos and onions, so I'm going to go dice those up right now while this is going and while I'm waiting on my second batch of eggs to get going. I haven't even set the timer on them yet. So, but whatever seasonings you like, you can use dill, you can use basil, garlic. I will be using garlic in mine, but I want garlic, jalapenos, and onions. And I just went out and picked those out of the garden while my other eggs were going. So I'm going to get those cleaned up and slice those. So let me get up working on that, and we'll be right back. All right, 120 tiny little eggs peeled later. Okay, it took me about, well, a little under an hour and a half to do. 120 of these teeny tiny eggs, but they're so pretty. They were beautiful little eggs. And the insides of some of the peelings were just the palest, beautiful blue. So the next thing we're gonna do, now all the really hard prep is done. Sorry, I'm gonna pour that bowl out here. So we're gonna fill our jars. And I have sliced my jalapenos and I've sliced my onions. I'm gonna focus down here so you can see what we're doing. We're gonna take a jar and we're gonna actually put our seasonings in our jars first, because I want those to go in and I want them to be evenly distributed. So that's why I put them directly into my jars, like I said earlier. Okay, we're going to put about a tablespoon of garlic in each one. And I don't measure exactly. Now, if I'm using anything here that you or your family don't like, you just do your own thing. I've got water all over my counter from peeling eggs. Kind of messy here. That was my garlic. Now I'm going to do mustard seed. And I'm going to do, I don't know, I like mustard seed in there. Maybe about 1.5 teaspoons, I think is what this measure is, in each jar. And this keeps our flavors evenly distributed. Because if I was to mix this in my eggs, you know, it might not all end up even, and I want it to end up even. Okay, now let's do some peppercorns. So far we have mustard seed, garlic, peppercorns, and I'm going to do a little celery seed. And this can be your own concoction of herbs and spices. Now, a lot of people like dill, and I like dill, but one of my grandsons doesn't care for dill, so I'm going to leave it out of here because these are going to be for them. So we're going to put about 1 teaspoon of celery seed in each one of these. Okay, now after a drink, did you guys see my cup? I love this. One of my listeners sent me that. It's so me. I love it. Okay, we're going to put a few onions into the jar. We're going to put a few jalapenos. And then we're going to put some of these cute tiny little eggs in each jar. Let's see, how many should I put? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's go ahead and do another jar. Get some onions going, get some jalapenos going, some spiciness in here. Now I'm not putting salt in this because salt is in my brine, so I don't need to add any more salt to it. And then let's add some more onions. I'm going to do 2 jars at a time. I don't really know how this is going to work out. I kind of guesstimated it. And some more jalapenos. And then some more little eggs. So far I've got 20 eggs in each jar, but plus my jalapenos. And my onions. Okay, let's see. Let's do a couple more jalapenos. Oops, that was an end. Let's get rid of him. A couple of little onions here. Okay, We can mash this just ever so slightly. Okay, I'm probably going to add. Now I would need to leave a headspace if I were canning these, which you would water bath can. But since I'm putting these straight into the refrigerator, I don't have to worry about that. So there's 2 jars pretty full. I'm going to go ahead and see where I'm at with these. Let's do some onion, some jalapeno in each one of these. I have a piece of jalapeno there that has a, oh, it's all right. Thought it had a bad spot on it. The assembly part of this is the easiest, just getting everything prepared. Probably peeling the eggs was the most time consuming of anything. And I'm just going to keep layering this. I think it might work out about right. And I can actually fit a few more of these in the other jars I have over here if I need to. But I think 4 quarts is going to come out pretty good. Now, if you don't want to get the heat on your fingers, be sure and wear gloves when you're handling the jalapenos. Sometimes I do, and sometimes I get busy like this and don't. So, but I'll have to be careful with my hands later. Don't want to touch your eyes or anything. These are so adorable. So I don't have to worry about my headspace in here, so I can pack my little eggs up to the top of each jar, because these are going right in the fridge. They won't even last long enough in my family to worry about canning them. So I'll take the little scraps I have left here and put in the tops of these of my onions and jalapenos. You know, that worked out just right. Yay, and those are so pretty. I'm gonna use that piece. Okay, now in my messiness here, because my kitchen is messy right now, I'm gonna set those there. And I'm gonna get my brine. And I don't know how this is going to work out either, but I can actually add a little to it if I need to. But I'm going to distribute this evenly. Now this, remember, has the salt in it, and it has the sugar in it. And maybe I'll taste it just to see. Yep, it's pretty good. And the water. Put a couple of dips in each jar. Actually, I could have used a funnel on this, but I didn't. I may have to mix up a little more brine. And if I do, that's all right. I can do that while I'm cleaning up my kitchen, because Lord knows it needs it. So I'm just gonna this too. And I was sure that this is not hot now, but I wanted to be sure that my salt and everything was mixed all up in this. Alright, so it looks like I have about half as much brine as I need to have. So I'm gonna mix a little bit more, and after tasting it, it tasted really good. What I wanna do is I wanna add just a little bit more sweetness to it. So when I mix my next batch, I'm gonna add just a little bit more sugar to it, but I'm gonna do it all just the same as I did before. So I'm gonna mix that up and I'll be right back. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and add, I made just a little bit more, and this time I added twice the sugar to them because I did want it a little bit sweeter. So normally if you would have put one, what I put in there, half a cup, so if you would just double that sugar if you want them sweet, but really you need to put the least amount and then taste it and see how you want your eggs. Because everybody has, you know, a different idea of what they want their eggs to be like, just like the herbs and spices that we put on them. So you need to figure out how you want your eggs flavored, because everybody has different tastes, and I like mine, well, my family likes them just a little bit sweet. So I'm going to fill these up, and then I'm going to cap them off and put them in the refrigerator. Hey, I hope that you will like and subscribe and share my video with your friends if you enjoyed this at all today. I hope you'll try doing some eggs. You don't have to do quail eggs like I did. This worked out great, the amount that I made to finish these off, but you don't have to do quail eggs. You can do any kind of eggs. I've done them before, and I actually have another video with eggs that I did, but they had these and they turn out so cute. Let me put a lid on here so I don't spill it, and I will show you one up close. These are so beautiful. Now you won't want to eat these for at least, well, 10 days to 2 weeks, because they need to marinate in this, and that's what's going to make them spicy. Look at all of our spices at the bottom. So I'll probably shake these up a little bit and get those spices going throughout. Oh yeah, look, falling down in there. So it will be real flavorful that way. And then I will stick them in the fridge and let them sit and let them marinate. And these will be good to go. So anyway, please like, subscribe, share. I do have a garden club. These onions came right out of my garden. I was able to go out there. Things are growing, so we'll take another garden tour, but I have a lot of herbs out there that can be used right now, and I've been using them in different things. So I do have a garden club, Julie's Garden Club. I will put the link down below, so come see me on that side if you want to know how to grow an amazing garden, because you can. If I can, you can. And have yourself a tomato sandwich anyway. Thanks for joining me today. See you next time. Bye.